Delegates deciding. Republican candidates are courting and wooing voters at the convention, but is that enough to snag votes? Media mogul. He's now in charge of a TV station, newspaper, and publishing company. We'll tell you who he is and what qualifies him for the job. Never-ending Newt. He's staying in the race, but he says he doesn't have the money to win. We'll tell you why Gingrich isn't dropping out yet. I'm Kara Teo.
And I'm Kelsey Eager. It's Monday, April 9th, and in Utah, it's 12 o'clock.
From KBYU and the BYU Department of Communications. This is the award-winning 11 News at noon.
A 16-year-old boy died this weekend in an ATV accident in Juab County. Jeremy Bryant was riding his four-wheeler over a 20-foot sand dune when police say he crashed at the bottom and died instantly. Authorities say the teen was an experienced rider and was wearing a helmet at the moment of collision. Police are still investigating the case. A new report shows Utah State Hospital psychiatrists are earning the big bucks compared to other state employees. UtahsRight.com reports the highest paid psychiatrists earn around $480,000, and only 3 other state employees earn more than these hospital workers. Taxpayer dollars fund these paychecks, and some wonder if they are too high. But experts and studies say the salaries are in line with national ones.
Occupy Salt Lake activists no longer occupy their common patch of grass and gravel. The Salt Lake Tribune reports they packed up their tents and moved down a few blocks where the city has granted the group weekly free speech permits. But this time the occupiers have to pay for their own porta potties and trash removal. The activists have been protesting for 6 months. Newt Gingrich says he's low on cash but won't back out, and the Ricks met up in Texas. We've got your look at national elections. But first, in Utah, the local Republican races are heating up. 11 News reporter Ariel Harrison attended a local Meet the Candidates event. Ariel, which contenders are the people excited about?
Well, 17 speakers showed up to speak to the candidates, but people stayed around to hear 2 specific GOP candidates speak. The state convention is less than 2 weeks away, and with positions up for grabs like governor and the U.S. and state Senate, people say they want to know the candidate behind the campaign.
This is where I chose to spend my birthday.
Matthew Skanke is not the ordinary BYU student because Matthew chose to spend his birthday talking with Utah Republican candidates.
So it's our future, right? I mean, we're the ones who are going to be inheriting debt. We're the ones who are going to be living here.
Like Matthew, delegates from districts in South Provo say they want to know more about the candidates running for office before the state convention in a couple of weeks. So organizers put together a Meet the Candidates event. Senator Orrin Hatch and opponent Dan Lillianquist both made an appearance and answered questions and concerns delegates had.
Dan is a fantastic individual who, if he's a senator, would bring a great deal of knowledge to the Senate. But then you have Senator Hatch, who is responsible for every single fantastic Supreme Court justice we have.
Delegates could talk to the candidates directly at the event, but some say they left wanting more information.
Had all the candidates who are underfunded speak, and it was really hard to get a feel for them, given the fact they only had a few minutes.
People came from all over Utah County to hear 17 different speakers. And even though speakers started at 8:30 a.m., many stuck around till 3 and 4 to hear Hatch and Lillianquist speak. Some even got to practice how to say
Lillianquist. Lillianquist. It's Swiss.
People who are interested in seeing which candidates get nominated can attend the Republican State Convention on April 21st at the Southtown Expo Center. And if people have more questions on the convention, they can go to my story at 11news.byu.edu.
Okay, thanks, Ariel.
Thanks.
Newt Gingrich says he can't match Mitt Romney's huge campaign budget, but refuses to admit defeat. Gingrich's last primary win was more than 2 months ago, but he says he won't drop out of the race yet. He says he still wants to influence the GOP party platform, promoting U.S. oil production and Social Security, no matter his chances of winning. Rick Santorum met privately with former GOP candidate Rick Perry, but he won't say why. CNN reports they met in Texas, but neither will give details of the meeting. Santorum is looking towards winning the Texas primary in May, even pushing the state to change its primary vote rules. Texas Governor Perry continues to endorse Newt Gingrich. And that's your look at Decision 2012.
111 News at noon returns. Rapid replacement. A former counselor of the LDS presiding bishopric moves from one time-consuming responsibility to another. We'll tell you what he's doing now.
And colorful cathedral. Some people decided to splash a little color on more than their Easter eggs this year. What they tagged when we return. More than 4,000 students will get to hear from Elder Dallin H. Oaks during their graduation ceremony next week. Elder Oaks has served as a member of the Quorum of the 12 Apostles of the LDS Church since 1984. He graduated from BYU in the 50s and was the president of the university for 9 years. KBYU TV and BYU Television will broadcast the commencement on April 19th at 4 p.m.
The new CEO for Deseret Management Corporation is a familiar face to many members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. 11 News reporter Liz Mullins found out how one of the recently released members of the presiding bishopric feels about his transition from general authority to corporate CEO. Liz, how is he handling it?
Well, Keith B. McMullen was second counselor in the presiding bishopric for 17 years. Now he says he's sad to leave his calling, but excited about his future.
Just last week, Keith B. McMullen sat in his office in Temple Square. Today, he works across the street, and the view is a little different. McMullen is replacing Mark Willis as CEO of Deseret Management Corporation. McMullen says he's excited to follow in Willis's footsteps.
Mark Willis has a superb sense for strategy, and he has a wonderful manner in the way he deals with others who are his colleagues in a particular industry that he is in and who work with him on a daily basis.
The Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints owns Deseret Management Corporation, which is a family of businesses, including KSL, Deseret News, and Temple Square Hospitality.
The company's purpose is to be a trusted voice of light and knowledge to hundreds of millions of people around the world. That's what we're about, and that's what all of us are engaged in a vigorous way.
McMullen says his time as a general authority has given him valuable skills and abilities he can use in this new position.
The presiding bishopric's responsibilities are very complex and span a very broad scope of activities, from real estate to buildings to records, financial affairs and systems. And so all of those experiences in running those operations have been helpful experiences in preparation for this undertaking.
McMullen says that he's most excited about implementing the strategies that Mark Willis has already put into place, and that he looks forward to seeing the influence that companies like Deseret News can have around the world. Live in the newsroom, Liz Mullins, 11 News.
Thanks, Liz. And one man who spent more than 60 years working in the news has died. 60 Minutes reporter Mike Wallace passed away Saturday night. The 93-year-old newsman won 21 Emmy Awards for his interviews with political, business, and religious leaders around the world, including LDS Church President Gordon B. Hinckley. Wallace pioneered the ambush interview and is known for his interrogational style.
A Seattle cathedral gets a bad Easter surprise. Police close in on the cause of a New York fire, and the campaign train literally pulls into town. Here's your look at news from across the nation. As the priests at Seattle's St. James Cathedral greeted Easter worshipers, something else greeted them: graffiti. Police say vandals tagged the church overnight, and this is the second time in less than a month graffiti has shown up. While sandblasters worked on the vandalism, the Archbishop says he used the opportunity to teach about forgiveness. Police are closing in on the cause of a New York fire. They say it started as a brush fire until strong winds turned it into a wildfire. The blaze torched 50 acres of land and destroyed the historic Tamarack Lodge and 10 other buildings. The Red Cross is helping the 18 people who lost their homes. Police say they have some leads and will soon make arrests. And in the midst of election season, one man is showing off his very popular and very presidential rail car. President Obama rode the Georgia 300 to his inauguration, and some other familiar names also used it, such as Bill Clinton, John Kerry, and George H.W. Bush. The candidates and presidents reused the historically restored car to show why Whistle's Stop Campaigning is not a thing of the past. And that's your look at news from across the nation. Kelsey?
When 11 News at noon returns. Swift sweep. There's more to curling than just brooms and yelling at 40-pound rocks. Learn how players avoid ice burns and heart-thumping wobbles. Daunting Dinosaurs will tell you why BYU is one of the best places on the planet to put all the pieces together again from some creepy reptiles.
And stay tuned to find out which day will be breaking a record high 11 weather when we return.
My allergies are getting the best of me with this spring weather.
It sure looks nice, though.
It does look really nice outside, so take a look at that. Spring weather today, pretty sunny. Unfortunately, you can't see how hot it is, but currently it's pretty hot with some clear skies going on today. In Provo, it's 55 degrees with that humidity coming in at around 38%, so it'll be pretty dry today, and with those wind speeds pretty calm at 5 miles per hour. Now let's take a look at what we can expect for tonight. A drop in temperature, not too much of a drop actually, only 48 degrees for the low with some mostly clear skies again, and that sunset there at late 8:02 p.m. And so we do have some winds coming in today around 6 miles per hour. That will be changing up until to 9 miles per hour later on today. And taking a look at our state and what that satellite map is telling us, it looks like we're in the clear for today, not too much going on, but that will change on Wednesday. It looks like we're having a cold storm coming in. We'll have some rain and some snow showers throughout the northern part of our state. And taking a look at those highs today, it's pretty hot. We're all in the 70s except for the southern part there in the 80s. Logan up at 74 degrees. Provo there at 77, Salt Lake 77, Moab at 83, and down in St. George 85. So that 5-day forecast looks pretty good. We've got some sun there, but unfortunately Wednesday it will be hitting us with that cold front coming in. For that 5-day forecast, we can see Monday will be pretty sunny with Tuesday there sunny as well. Wednesday we'll see those raindrops come in with a high there at 71 degrees. Thursday 71 as well, and then Friday will be coming in at a high at 58 degrees. And we can expect that same pattern for the northern part of our state. It'll be sunny Monday through Tuesday, and then Wednesday there we'll have those raindrops, and Thursday and Friday we may be experiencing some snow showers. So unfortunately the high there on Friday for only 48 degrees, so pretty cold for our spring weather. Looks like it'll be sunny for the most of the week, and then weekend wet. So
that's one way to keep me inside.
Definitely. It'll force us to study inside, which is good.
Thanks, Ash.
Thanks, guys.
Okay, so baseball's just started. Sean, have you been able to catch any of the games?
I have. It's good to see him back on the Cool curling. Think this Olympic sport's easy? You may want to think again. Sports is next. Stay tuned. And it was a wild and controversial weekend for BYU men's volleyball as they took on UCLA in Southern California. The fun started in the 5th set of Friday's match when BYU appeared to win on a Josue Rivera service ace, but after a 10-minute discussion, the call was overturned. UCLA went on to win the match 20-18. The BYU filed an official protest with the MPSF, and the league responded with a ruling that the end of Friday's match would be replayed. So play resumed at 16-16 on Saturday, and BYU scored 2 quick points for the 18-16 win to take the match. And Saturday's match wasn't even close, though, as the Bruins beat BYU 3-0. Olympic curling can't be that hard. Most of us have been sweeping floors since we were kids. But do you think you could do it? 11 Sports reporter Emmanuel Na takes a deeper look at the sport of curling and how tough it really is.
Slide the stone at the target. How hard could it be? Well, at George Eccles Arena in Logan, Utah, ordinary people and students are sweeping their way into an Olympic sport.
You know, what's fun about the sport is you can play. Anyone can play, and it is a lifetime sport. But the challenge is always there to get a little bit better and get a little bit more control. Jackson Smith's inspiration came from the 2002 Winter Games held in Utah, and shortly after he started the Cache Valley Stone Society. His enthusiasm for the sport flowed over to Utah State University, where he also started a 2-credit class, held once a week, for students to come and learn the game he loves.
It's a great opportunity to blow off a little steam, to have some competition and to have a lot of fun, and that's what I really enjoy the most about it.
Curling became an Olympic sport in 1998 and involved sliding a 40-pound stone or rock about 150 feet towards this target, called the house. Once the delivery is made, players sweep in front of the rock to make it travel farther and straighter.
Curling can be a competitive Olympic sport or just a fun hobby to do with your friends, but no matter how you start, you'll soon realize it's a lot harder than it looks.
I got into this thinking that I could, this is a sport that I could maybe be an Olympian in. And once you get out there, it's just so difficult to be consistent, especially in the way that the Olympic curlers are.
It isn't as easy as it looks, and I learned that pretty quickly. But I wasn't alone. Even the students and club members had their own share of falls and wobbly takeoffs. With this week's Olympic leftover, Emmanuel Na, 11 News.
There are plenty of leagues and clubs throughout Utah if you want to give curling a try. And golf fans were treated to some incredible shots as well as extra play in the final day of the sport's biggest event. South Africa's Louis Oosthuizen hit it big early on with his second shot of the par 5 second hole, driving it to the front of the green and getting the perfect roll, sinking the double eagle for a 2-shot lead. But U.S. golfer Bubba Watson came back to force a playoff, and on the second extra hole he hit a masterful shot from the trees to within 10 feet, where he would then 2-putt to earn his first green jacket.
That is crazy.
Oh, yeah, I know.
Hard shot.
It's true. And Bubba Watson's a fun story just because he never took golfing lessons, doesn't have a swing coach, anything like that. They joke around that shot that he hit out of the trees was probably because he has no mechanics, so he's able to swing it around.
The only one who can make it.
Exactly.
Maybe I should start golfing. That'd be pretty good. Still to come on 11 News at noon. Beautiful bones, resurrecting the prehistoric era at BYU. What it takes to bring those dinos back from the dead. We'll be right back.
We all see dinosaurs on display at the museum, but what we don't see is all the work that goes into getting them there. 11 News reporter Janet Govan shows us the process.
These dinosaurs look nice, neat, and put together, but they didn't always look this way. Here at the BYU Museum of Paleontology, they take the process from start to finish. Most of their dinosaurs come straight out of Utah.
No one has this dinosaur, right? And so it's amazing when you come up with in your own backyard when you live in Utah and you're working on dinosaurs.
The bones start out buried in solid rock. Workers take pictures and 3D scans of the blocks and then load them onto a computer to create maps. The maps show where different bones are located in the rock.
So we can see all the different bones and the different layers, so then we can put the skeletons together later and see what we've got.
Then student workers use tiny drills and tools to carefully extract the fragile bones. They say this process takes a lot of hard work and patience.
The most rewarding part is when things actually come together and you can see a finished product. Basically, you see a nice prepared out bone and it looks beautiful.
After months of work, the bones will look something like this, where they can then be researched to find out more about the dinosaur's life story. After they clean the bones, paleontologists figure out what type of dinosaur they came from and how to assemble them. Once assembled, they build a replica to put on display so that the fragile and rare bones won't be destroyed. Britt says sharing these dinosaurs is the best part of his job.
The real thrill comes when you finally publish it and you get it out there and share it with everyone.
This entire process takes years. The museum staff started their current project in 2009, and they probably won't fully assemble the dinosaur for another year. In Provo, Janet Govan, 11 News.
I'd be so scared of cutting through the bones.
I know. They must have a lot of patience.
Yeah. That's 11 News for Monday, April 9th.
You can join us anytime on our website, 11news.byu.edu.
Thanks for watching and have a great afternoon.